A lot of people think about writing for AMR as some robotic process that you just sit down at your computer, you empty out your brain. I've got all these fantastic ideas, and voila, a paper appears. We all know that's not true. Let's talk about the psychological experience of writing papers for AMR. It's an interesting process, right? I've done it multiple times, and it never fails to amaze me, the ups and downs of your emotions at different stages. The first submission, if you're lucky, you get an R&R. If you're not, you get a rejection. So many emotions and so many fears. Am I going to have enough time to do this? Am I qualified to do this? What if my ideas just aren't any good? And what you need to know is that's really typical. I actually, kept all those thoughts and emotions to myself, especially the first few times I was trying to submit something to AMR. And what I've since learned is it's really common. We all feel that way. We get excited for our first submission. I have all these great ideas. I can't wait to communicate them. And then we hit submit and think, I'm scared. What if they push back and say, that's terrible? How do I not take that personally? And then, of course, if you're lucky enough to get an R&R, that's when the real nagging doubts come in. I want to do this. I'm given a shot, but what if I really can't? So many of us experience the same emotional journey, psychological journey. And what you need to know is there's a few things you can do to help. First of all, manage your time well. Try not to leave things to the last minute. And in fact, I have found that when I'm working on deep papers, it's really important to set daily goals, weekly goals, so that I can see progress and small wins. But it also helps me keep with those ideas over and over. So they're just, constantly, even when I'm not working on the paper, in the back of my mind. I may only work on the paper for a couple minutes or a couple of hours within a particular day. It's rare that I could do theory work for 8 hours straight. I'm not a robot. So setting those kind of daily checkpoints really keeps me moving forward and gives me the energy to keep on track with whether goals that I've set for myself for time or an actual deadline to send to an R&R. In addition, it is also very helpful to get friendly reviews. We have doubts of whether or not our work is good enough. So ask. Ask people who know AMR, ask people who've published in AMR, ask people who mentor you, have them give a friendly review, but maybe not so friendly. So poke holes in my argument. What literature does this sound like? Ask for the help you need. This is a field in which we thrive on that collaboration. And then finally, really be kind to yourself. It's not a process of writing theory like writing an empirical paper. It's a little bit more complex. It's ambiguous. You always feel like you could do something more or different. And that can really get in your head. So be sure that you are giving yourself pats on the back for the accomplishments that you make for your first submission. Celebrate. You don't know if it's going to get an R&R. You don't know if it's going to get rejected. It doesn't matter. You've made progress. You've done something that not everybody has done. And with each stage, keep those celebrations coming. Celebrate when you get your first draft. Celebrate when you get your first response to reviewers. There are so many ways in which you can celebrate the process, and that helps you to maintain that motivation. Know that you'll have down days. We all do. And you may have to put the paper aside and say, I need a break. Whether it's short term, go outside, go for a walk or a run, or maybe it's, okay, I can't work on this week. Also typical, also normal, but come back to it. So be patient with yourself. And at the end of the day, just remember this. I always like to say, this work is as close to brain candy as we can get. I mean, we are creating ideas, we're creating knowledge, we're creating connections and explanations that have never existed before. That's why I went into this profession. And so is that going to be hard? Yes. Is it going to push me? Of course. But if I can think of this as this gift of our profession to create that knowledge, I can be motivated to stick it out. So hope you hang in there wherever you are on the psychological experience of your journey in writing for AMR, and we hope to see your papers soon.